We've got some more speakers lined up who want to come and say something, but if you would like to make a contribution, do come and see. Crystal's got her clipboard there, so come and let us know. Our next speaker we'd like to invite is Trinity, who is a single mother. She is from the All African Women's Group.
Hello everyone. I'm from All Africa Women's Group. Women from all continents. We are asylum seekers. Come together to talk about our story. Our country has been destroyed. We come to this country for safety. But when we come, they deny us. They label us as a liar. They treat us like nobody. And our country has been destroyed, the land, the sea, the farm.
Yes.
There is a lot of sickness, death,
Yes.
everywhere in our country. One thing I want them to understand here, when women suffer, children suffer.
Yes. Yes.
That is one thing. And women, we are the forefront of all those things, taking care of the animals, the land, and the farm.
Yes.
Now we don't have anything lie on back home because the millionaires from here, they have come to our country to destroy our land.
Yes. Yes.
So we are demanding them that they should leave our land. We want our land back.
Yes. Yes.
And we all have the right to be here.
Yes.
They have come to our country to destroy, to steal from us.
Yes.
And they are telling us to leave this place. And even though when we are here suffering, fighting for our case, our children back home are suffering.
Yeah.
No mother wants to leave their children behind.
No.
But when you are facing danger, violence, or even death, you have no choice to leave your children behind. I left my baby when he was 2 weeks old. The boy is 17 years old now.
Wow.
I have to run for my life. Even when I won my case, when women won their case, it's another struggle.
Yes.
To bring your children here, they deny us.
Yes.
They are separating us. And we said no to that. Even though when we are fighting for family reunion, our children has to be with us when we win our case. We want our children. Nobody have the right to separate mother from their children. We want our children here right with us. Whether our children is over 18 or under 18. We want our children to be here with us. We don't want our children to be separated from us. Just imagine me leaving my sucking baby back home. The same here when social worker will take our children away from us.
Yes.
From birth. They are depriving the baby from the mother's love.
Yes.
And we said, stop it now. We don't want that. We want our children because we are the first love for our children. Mother is the first love for their children. So we don't want separation. Even when we win our case, we are demanding that our children should be with us.
Yes.
They definitely delay our case. Even when we win our case, maybe our children is under age. When they are over 18, they are telling us now we have no right. Our children have no right to be here.
Shame.
Whose fault? That is a shame.
Yes.
Thank you. And all of us have the right to be here.
Yes.
Nobody should be separate from their mother.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. I won my case.
Yes.
But that is not the case now. All mothers like me suffer in silence. Perpetual pain, depression, anxiety. All those things come. When I won my case, it was a struggle for me to bring my children here.
Yes.
And women are still strongly to bring their children here. We have women in our network that they have won their case over 10 years. But to bring their children here is a struggle.
Yeah.
So we said no to that. Yes. Thank you so much. And we are campaigning for mother campaign.
Yes.
Please, you are free to join us to fight this fight.
Yes.
Together, we can win. Thank you.
Fantastic as always, Trinity. Really
glad for that. These are stories you don't hear unless you come to something like this and women get the chance to have this microphone and say what their stories are. I would like to call on Solveig to tell us something about the women of Andhra Pradesh. There's a revolution going on out there. We need to hear about it.
Right. Okay, I'm Solveig from the Global Women's Strike, and I just want to tell you a bit about the women-led farmers movement, natural farmers movement in Andhra Pradesh. A team of us from the Global Women's Strike went to Andhra Pradesh last November to find out more about this extraordinary women's movement. And we met with women organised in 140,000 self-help groups, mostly farmers, mostly living in villages, in the rural communities, in fact over 3,000 villages. And they are just transforming their society through community-managed natural farming. That is agroecology, which is based on low, no-tilling, rejecting all use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, using local seeds, basically not being dependent on all the corporations which are pushing their poison and poisoning the food and the water and everything. And as a result of this, the benefits are and regenerating the soil is just central to what they are doing. And as a result, they are feeding their children. The women are able to feed their children and themselves healthy food. They all reported to us how their health has improved. We saw the children strong and healthy. The women have less diabetes, their blood pressure has gone down, and yes. And at the same time, the women's incomes have gone up and their workload has lightened. Because this method of farming is not that the women do work very, very hard, but compared to what they were doing with the chemical farming, because once you let the land do its work, once it's regenerated, there's a whole lot of work you don't have to do. You don't have to put all the fertilizer on in those quantities. You don't do the digging of the soil. A whole set of work does not need to be done. Of course, it's a lot of work spreading this, because what the women are doing is they are training each other and they are spreading it throughout the state. At the moment, through the women's efforts, 1 million farmers are now enrolled on this program, which includes the men, because the women have brought along the men. Once they see that it's working, they were very suspicious at first, very reluctant, not ready to work in a collective way like the women were. So 1 million farmers enrolled now, and the aim is by 2031 they want the whole state, 6 million farmers, 2 million landless farmers, to be all natural farmers. So it's really an extraordinary achievement that we are not hearing about. We went there because we wanted to be able to spread the word, and which we've begun to do. We have more information about it on our website. There are videos about it, and we can also come and speak to groups. But the other crucial thing about that is happening at the same time as all this, and which the women told us about, is that this way of farming is crucial to reversing global warming, because it cools the earth. When the ground is all covered, when it's holding the carbon, it cools the earth. It re-establishes the water cycle to work properly, which is also key to regulating the climate. So, that was the other great thing about hearing the women, was the women, a number of them started saying to us, we are illiterate, but then went and gave a whole, scientific explanation to us, understanding, what was happening to the soil, what was happening to the climate, what was happening to their health and to their children. So it's a really fantastic movement, really showing us a way, because they are so organized. We know that agroecology is spreading through the world, particularly in countries of the global south and in this country. But I think what is particularly outstanding in Andhra Pradesh is just how organized and systematically the women are going about doing it, and have also won support from, from parts of the state. And in fact, one of the key people supporting the women in this is saying that really the women need a care income for this work they are doing for their services to humanity, which we agree, we all need it. Yes. Spreading this, because what the women are doing is they are training each other and they are spreading it throughout the state. At the moment, through the women's efforts, 1 million farmers are now enrolled on this program, which includes the men, because the women have brought along the men. Once they see that it's working, they were very suspicious at first, very reluctant, not ready to work in a collective way like the women were. So 1 million farmers enrolled now, and the aim is by 2031, they want the whole state, 6 million farmers, 2 million landless farmers to be all natural farmers. So it's really an extraordinary achievement that we are not hearing about. We went there because we wanted to be able to spread the word, and which we've begun to do. We have more information about it on our website. There are videos about it, and we can also come and speak to groups. But the other crucial thing about that is happening at the same time as all this, and which the women told us about, is that this way of farming is crucial to reversing global warming, because it cools the earth. When the ground is all covered, when it's holding the carbon, it cools the earth. It re-establishes the water cycle to work properly, which is also key to regulating the climate. So, and that was the other great thing about hearing the women, was the women, a number of them started saying to us, we are illiterate, but then went and gave a whole scientific explanation to us, understanding what was happening to the soil, what was happening to the climate, what was happening to their health and to their children. So it's a really fantastic movement, really showing us a way, because they are so organized. We know that agroecology is spreading through the world, particularly in countries of the global south and in this country. But I think what is particularly outstanding in Andhra Pradesh is just how organized and systematically the women are going about doing it, and have also won support from parts of the state. And in fact, one of the key people supporting the women in this is saying that really the women need a care income for this work they are doing for their services to humanity, which we agree, we all need it. Yes.
Hello everybody, I am Betty from the platform 12th of October. I'm here to represent our platform, and also invite everybody who want to be part of a different collective in our struggle for the environment, from the earth, from the rights of the indigenous people originals, and also for the right of women, immigrants, and everyone. So here I wanted to share with you that we fight as an immigrant, in my voice, as a mother, as an activist. We really feel sometimes very strange in this country. Even for the immigrant who are the papers, the visa or the settlement, they are not being seen like a normal citizen. So for example, just one example, when the immigrants came here, and I speak by myself, I study in the university, in the social anthropology, but others are medics, are engineers, are lawyers, but they don't find the facility to be recognized, their certificate here. So what is the end? To be cleaner, to be mother 24/7, or anything else that underestimate their careers or our careers. So this country doesn't recognize the studies, the career, but also in our rights, and sometimes we are neglected as a mother with children with conditions, mental conditions, physical conditions, or ourselves. So the government needs to be more careful in how they distribute the money, how to distribute the richness in this country. But what they do is to invest in war. For example, why they are sending money to Ukraine? So they are dividing the country because Russia is there fighting with the Ukraine, and the main target of this country is Ukraine. And with this war, they are damaging our planet, because every bomb or every arm is to kill people, but also to kill our planet. So I would like to call for more unity, for more solidarity, even with the indigenous people, like my sister Lourdes Huanca. She's here talking about the problems and the dictatorship in my country, because I am from Peru as well, and to be solidarity, to solidarize with our countries, not only Peru, all countries where a state like United Kingdom, United States, or the European Union are investing. Go to our country, and even in Africa, in Asia, go to our country to take our natural resources. And they don't care what is left after they took our natural resources. They damage our land, they damage our rivers, our lagoons, and they are becoming more rich, and we are left more poor. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak as a Peruvian, as a mother, as an immigrant, and also I'm sympathetic. We are sympathetic with the problems that are in this country. Thank you very much. And you are invited to the event the 6th of May, where my sister, our sister Lourdes Huanca, she spoke before, is going to give a conference. So you are invited to listen to her. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Really important to hear about the indigenous struggles, because they are all our struggles. We might be in one part of the world, but as my placard says, there's no borders in this climate crisis. So we are in it together, and that's what we know, and that's how we know we're going to have to fight. Our next speaker is Anne from another coalition based at Crossroads Women's Centre, Support Not Separation.
Thanks, Crystal. In Support Not Separation, and working very closely with the Disabled Mothers' Rights Campaign, we are fighting to stop the arbitrary and unjust separation of children from mums by the child, quote, protection industry, which is taking increasing numbers of children into care, often conflating poverty with neglect. And we know that with the cost of living crisis, inflation, and cuts to benefits and local services, it's meaning that more children are being taken from loving mothers, breaking the hearts of both children and mothers, and inflicting lifelong trauma. These removals feed a privatized, growing and extremely profitable, quote, care industry, while families are denied the support we need and are legally entitled to, which would enable us to stay together. We're also fighting to stop abusive fathers using the family courts to continue their coercive control over mothers who have left them, often because of their violence, and to stop children being forced into contact with the fathers that they want nothing to do with, even to be forced to live with them. And in this fight, we're up against the misogyny, racism, sexism, class and disability discrimination in the family court system. from child protection social workers who have the power to dictate how we raise our children, to lawyers, psychologists, medical experts, judges, and the so-called independent body Kafkas, which is supposed to represent children's interests, but does not. And at the heart of what we're fighting against is the devaluing, the downplaying, the ignoring of the crucial life-giving bond between mothers and children, and the downgrading of the caring work that mums, nans, aunties, sisters, and all of us do to raise and protect our children. Communities can't survive without this work, which is made much harder for mothers of colour, mothers who are immigrant, who are young, who are disabled, who have been in care, who are LGBTQ, who are single mums. And when we have no money, no housing, no clean air, no green or safe places where kids can play. Yet while mothers are denied these resources, councils are paying millions of pounds to private companies who run children's homes, where children are often neglected and abused. And they pay foster carers, but they won't pay mums or kinship carers. So for the last 6 years, we've been picketing outside the family court every month on the first Wednesday. You're very welcome to join us. We have an open mic there where we speak about what goes on behind those closed doors. And we are certain that we have helped change the climate of secrecy around child protection and family courts. And it's crucial that we count our victories, which help to build the movement of mothers, of caring fathers and extended families calling for support, not separation. It's great to be joining so many others calling for a care income for all those who care for people and the planet.
Woo! Thank you very much. Okay, our next speaker is Hylwyn, who is here. She is sitting here. She's from the Invisible, the Women with Visible and Invisible Disabilities group. Thanks, Hylwyn.
Okay. I want to tell everyone that nuclear energy is not clean, green or safe. Our government is currently pushing for new nuclear power stations to be built at a time when Germany has just closed down its last one. My feelings about this are strong because I had an overactive thyroid for the best part of 40 years after a nuclear accident at Sellafield Nuclear Power Station during the 1950s. An overactive thyroid stimulates your sympathetic nervous system so that you're constantly in fear, fight and flight mode and your hands shake. My hands shook so much I couldn't eat with people. As there was no test at the time for thyroid disease, I was diagnosed as having a psychiatric eating disorder. Under the Official Secrets Act, the nuclear accident was kept secret for 50 years. After 38 years, I was diagnosed with an overactive thyroid and said to be in danger of a stroke or a heart attack, as my condition was by then severe and causing terrible bouts of pain and vomiting. The NHS wanted to remove my thyroid and make me dependent on thyroxine for the rest of my life, but another doctor warned me against it. He told me that if we had a war, I would not be able to get my thyroxine and I would die. Luckily, I was cured overnight by a medical homeopath. My son, however, born before this, was severely autistic and without speech. A Welshman resident in North Wales, near Sellafield, informed me that the incidence of abnormal births in the area was far higher than average after the nuclear accident. I did not hear about the accident until 50 years had elapsed and a panorama program on TV, which I didn't see, revealed what had happened.
Thank you very much, Irene. It's really essential to know this, what's happened. Thank you. Campaigning for many, many years, and also has been fighting and winning a lot of victories. Women Against Rape.
Thank you. I haven't prepared a speech. I'm only going to speak briefly. I think it's important to note and to register the enormous struggle that women have been making all over the world against rape, domestic violence and child abuse. And in this country, we have seen an enormous outpouring of women in particular speaking about what they've suffered, how they've been denied justice, and how they've been up against a police force which is itself racist, misogynist, rapists, domestic violence abusers. And these are the people that we've been having to go to try to get our attackers put in jail as the only last resort we have to stop them attacking us again, or to stop them attacking other women, which is often a great impetus for women to come forward and report. We've been part of a massive struggle also to get recognised the massive abuse, widespread abuse in children's homes. We've worked with the Shirley Oaks Abuse Survivors Association, the biggest self-help group in the country, and they won, I think it's £46,000 or maybe £1 million, I'm not sure. Anyway, they won a massive compensation payout from the local council that was responsible for putting hundreds of children into those homes, into the hands of abusers, many of whom were people of colour. And we won the change in the law, which made a big difference after a 15-year campaign to get rape in marriage recognised as a crime. When we started, it wasn't even illegal. And we helped bring the first private prosecution for rape to court when the Crown Prosecution Service refused to prosecute a man who had raped 2 sex workers. We are challenging every inequity that's perpetuated by the state, and we work closely with the All Africa Women's Group, many of who have fled rape, domestic violence, torture, and also economic devastation caused mainly by governments of the West. So we carry on, we fight together, and we win.